Morning, everyone. My name is Oliver Maruda. I'm the head of innovation here at ARQ Group, and today I'm joined by ARQ Group's chief customer architect, Steve McCormick. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks, Ollie.
We're going to be chatting about managed services today. So let's jump into the first question, mate. Can you share us a customer story around managed services that have been impacted by COVID?
Definitely. There's been a number of customers impacted by COVID, to be honest. One that really sticks in my mind is Queensland Education. Queensland Education have been a customer of ours for over 10 years, and one that we work really closely with. Um, as you know, Queensland closed its schools, and that meant over 600,000 students were sent home, but still needed to be educated. The department had been working on the deployment of Teams, which is a tool within the Office 365 suite, for a number of months. And working together, we felt that this was a really crucial thing to get out to the community. So within 3 weeks, ARQ Group worked with the department to deploy Teams to over 600,000 students across Queensland, both metropolitan and remote, to help them with not only connectivity from an education perspective, but collaboration at a personal level, helping people deal with the isolation of being at home in lockdown.
That's really powerful stuff, and it's interesting. We were one of the first, I think, in the world to kind of deploy it at that scale, from understanding, the impacts of COVID, at least in the education system.
Yeah, the education department's implementation of Office 365 is one of the largest tenancies in the world. That brings lots of challenges. Doing things at that scale can even stretch Microsoft in terms of its capability.
It's interesting stuff. But you mentioned managed services. Can we, for those at home listening in and who may not know what a managed service is, can you kind of give us a quick, couple minute wrap up of so we're all talking on the same, level playing field?
Yeah, so managed services for ARC is a lot more than just looking after and keeping the lights on a couple of servers in a data center. Managed services for us is about delivering mission critical outcomes for organizations across Australia and across all verticals. So whether it's supporting a retail client who have massive online sales, to supporting emergency services through delivery of vital information to people in Australia, and even delivery of mental health, which is really topical at the moment. So mental health information to people who are struggling with the challenges of lockdown in a COVID world.
And you mentioned mental health. So my understanding is the Prime Minister, he earlier this year, April, he announced Beyond Blue's extra funding, additional website capability. How we only had a few days' notice to really turn that around.
Yeah, very short notice, but it's what we're good at here at ARC. And it's partly down to the methodology that we use in our managed service. So a couple of years ago, we recognized that sustainable change at pace was a big challenge across all industries. And the example you use, just mentioned of Beyond Blue, that service that was launched by the Prime Minister came about very quickly in response to COVID. They needed to get a platform up and running, a solution, an outcome in literally a couple of days. Because we operate Beyond Blue under continuous value delivery, or CVD, we were able to help morph and shift the managed service to support that platform in a very timely manner.
And it's not just, turning on a website or moving something to the cloud or that kind of stuff. There's security, there's privacy, data, onshore capabilities. There's a whole, wealth of, we call that full stack, right? Do you want to kind of,
Yeah, so full stack is a term that we use. And it's more than just we do the infrastructure and the dev. We're actually looking at the overall outcome. So that covers security, it covers what is the customer experience. So we work across the breadth of our capabilities to deliver a really good outcome for the end user, and it's the end user that we focus on. So different to other organizations who provide managed services, we look to deliver the outcome for the customer and the end customer.
And in terms of sort of the last 12 months, what's kind of changed in the managed services space?
Well, the last 12 months has probably been the most different in the managed services space. I think the key change for me, or the key changes for me, have been twofold. One, organizations are looking to protect themselves from pandemic type of changes, so fundamental changes in the way businesses work. They're also looking to get things online, get their people online. Moving to remote working has been a challenge for lots of organizations. And it's not just the challenge of connectivity. It's the challenge of security. It's the challenge of giving people access to the things that they need, which in a lot of cases is actually conversations. So conversations like we're having, it's really important to keep that going in a workplace. Security is also the big challenge. Your office has a swipe card on it. It's like the security wall that sits around your information. I know my home doesn't have swipe cards. Most people don't. You've got a lot of data and endpoints that are now spread across locations that they never were before. Changes the data position, changes the security position.
It's an interesting point because, we years ago you lose your wallet and your whole life was in your wallet, but now it's in your smartphone in your pocket. That's got all your logins, all the cookies, everything's based in there. But how do some companies get around it? I know we've talked about remote desktop. It's kind of some of the return to work services that we've been responding with recently.
Yeah, so yes, lots of things can be put on a smartphone or sit on a laptop, but the best way to control it is to actually keep it in the cloud, keep it central, and give people access. Then, if your laptop is stolen, there's actually no data on there. So remote desktop services from partners in Microsoft and AWS have been deployed by ARQ for a number of customers to help with this challenge. We're in the midst of deploying a new in the cloud development environment for a large customer that will help them continue to do their development from anywhere.
No, it's great to hear, and I know even within ARC, sort of the remit was everyone had to go home, work from home. We had 2 days' notice. 400 employees all had to suddenly work remotely, so it's a great turnaround time. You guys in the managed services team to kind of get it up and running for us, so we can now support our customers as well.
Yeah, we're lucky in the managed services team in that we're well prepared for remote working. We learned from the 2011 floods here in Queensland that disasters can happen. And that was our initiative to start moving a lot of our services off our premises, out of our data centers, into the cloud. So we've practiced this on ourselves. We know the challenges, we know the pitfalls. As you say, Ollie, less than 2 days, and we were fully functional remotely with no loss of service. We still run 24/7. We still run our global operations centers, security operations centers in exactly the same way, delivering exactly the same outcome, but just distributed across Queensland, New South Wales, and Victoria.
It was a really good initiative. I know myself, I finished work on Friday, came on Monday, and nothing had changed. You could just work from home. You could work from any location in Australia, basically. And the quality of the work hasn't actually gone backwards. We see our staff constantly on Teams, on Slack, using all the right tools, collaboration with the Office suite as well. So it's been really useful. Another question that's just come to mind, what's coming next? I know there's a lot of work in AI that we've been exploring recently. That's probably most exciting to talk about.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work around AI and machine learning. Not only from a straight project perspective, but also in the managed services space, which is sort of close to my heart. Increasingly, we're seeing organizations implementing machine learning to help give them better decisions or to help give a better customer experience. These things they're not set and forget. They need to be tuned, they need to continue to learn. And we've built out managed services in this space. So for organizations where we've delivered machine learning based projects or AI based projects, we also then manage them on an ongoing basis for those organizations to ensure that the value and the investment that they made continues to give good return over an extended period of time.
No, we're super excited, and I know we're playing with a lot of ML AI sort of components. There's a lot of cool things happening with back to work with AR, VR, social distancing, digital twins is sort of a hot topic as well. All these new applications need to be managed. So if you don't have a good foundation layer sort of managing them, then yeah, you need to trust that these applications are going to both scale, be safe and secure, can be accessed from anywhere, and anyone can work on it as well. So. Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Oh,
So,
please go ahead.
yeah, I think when everybody goes back to work post COVID, one thing we know is the world is going to be different. There is going to be a change in the way people work. There's going to be a change in the Australian economy and how our customers interact with them. So if you don't have a partner who can deliver that change at pace, there's a risk that you'll get left behind. What we're trying to do for all of our customers, both long-term and new customers that we've started working with in these different spaces, is make sure that everything that's managed can change and change really quickly. That change and ability to adapt gives our customers an edge over everybody else.
And if you sort of any parting words to any whether it's a chief information officer, CTO, CEO, in these changing times, what kind of advice would you get them to kind of think about?
I think probably the key piece of advice is don't try and take things back to the way they were. I mean, we're doing this ourselves internally. It's that it is going to be different. So look for the new ways of working. Look at how you can embrace new technologies, new approaches to work, a new flexibility to do things better.
It's really useful advice for Steve McCormick, Chief Customer Architect at ARQ Group. Thank you for your time this morning. We've got officers working 24/7, based in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne as well. So if you guys have any questions around managed services, please hit us up on our website, on our socials, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. We're more than happy to chat to you guys as well. But Steve, thank you for your time this morning and chatting managed services with us.
Cool. Thank you, Ollie. Have a great day.
Cheers, mate.